Hey my friends, today I'm bringing you a truth that might just blow your mind, literally. We're diving deep into the most complex organ in your body, the one sitting right between your ears. Did you know your brain has over 100 billion neurons? That's more than the number of stars in our galaxy. Each one of those neurons is connected to over 10,000 others, creating a network so vast it's almost incomprehensible. And get this, the information zipping around inside your head travels faster than 270 miles per hour. It's an absolute supercomputer. So why, with all that power, do you sometimes feel foggy? Why do you walk into a room and completely forget why you're there? Do you think aging is a one-way ticket to Alzheimer's, poor memory, and constant brain fog? False. The truth is something else entirely, and it's way more optimistic than you think. Yes, it's true that from a purely anatomical standpoint, after age 40, the brain slowly begins to shrink in volume. It's a natural part of the aging process. But here's the scientific surprise, the part that should give you a huge dose of hope. Even after you turn 70, your brain can still create new neurons. This process is called neurogenesis, and it's your secret weapon against cognitive decline. The power to sharpen your mind isn't just for the young, it's a lifelong capability. The real question isn't if you can improve your brain, but how. And the answer isn't some expensive, complicated gimmick, it's about your daily habits and lifestyle choices. Let me back this up with some incredible research. In 2011, a groundbreaking study published in the prestigious journal, The Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences, found something remarkable. They discovered that doing moderate aerobic exercise, we're talking about something as simple as brisk walking for 30 to 40 minutes just 3 times a week, can actually increase the size of your hippocampus. That's the memory zone of your brain. The study showed an increase of up to 2% in just 1 year. To put that in perspective, that's like reversing 2 full years of age-related brain shrinkage. So today we're going to explore the 7 silent enemies that might be shutting down your brain and, more importantly, what you can do about it. Let's start with something that many of us brush off, especially from our younger years' head injuries. Think back to your childhood. Did you ever fall off your bike? Take a hard tackle playing football or soccer? Maybe you were in a minor car accident. We often say, "I just got my bell rung," and then we move on. But the brain doesn't forget so easily. Even seemingly minor head trauma, especially if it happens repeatedly, can have significant long-term consequences. These impacts can cause microdamage to brain cells and the delicate connections between them, leading to a condition known as chronic traumatic encephalopathy, or CTE, which we see tragically in many contact sport athletes. This isn't just about professional athletes though. Every time your head takes a significant hit, it can trigger an inflammatory response inside your skull. Over time, this chronic inflammation can disrupt communication pathways, impair cognitive function, and accelerate the brain's aging process. It's like a slow, silent erosion of your mental sharpness. You might not notice the effects for years or even decades, but the damage can accumulate, eventually manifesting as memory problems, difficulty concentrating, or mood swings. Protecting your head isn't just about preventing a concussion today, it's about safeguarding your cognitive health for the rest of your life. So, what's the takeaway here? It's about being proactive. If you or your children play contact sports, ensure proper protective gear is worn and that any head impact is taken seriously. Don't just walk it off. Seek medical evaluation. For the rest of us, it's about awareness. Wear a helmet when you're cycling or skateboarding. Be mindful of risks in your daily environment. The past is the past, but protecting your brain from future injuries is a critical step in maintaining its function. Your brain is resilient, but it's not invincible. We need to treat it with the care it deserves. Now let's talk about a topic that's often part of social life but has a serious, direct impact on your brain: alcohol and drugs. When you have a drink, alcohol acts as a depressant on your central nervous system. It primarily affects the prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain right behind your forehead that's responsible for decision-making, judgment, and impulse control. This is why after a few drinks, people might make choices they wouldn't normally make. It's literally short-circuiting your brain's CEO. Over the long term, chronic heavy drinking can cause significant brain shrinkage and damage to the ends of neurons called dendrites, which are crucial for passing messages between brain cells. The impact doesn't stop with decision-making. Alcohol and many recreational drugs interfere with the hippocampus, our memory center. Ever heard of a blackout from drinking too much? That's your hippocampus failing to transfer short-term memories into long-term storage. It's a temporary shutdown of your memory-making machinery. Similarly, substances can deplete neurotransmitters like dopamine and serotonin, which regulate mood, motivation, and focus. This can lead to a vicious cycle where you feel you need the substance to feel normal, all while it's further damaging the very systems that control your mental clarity and emotional stability. The key here is understanding the dose-response relationship. While an occasional drink might have minimal long-term effects for most healthy individuals, regular or heavy use is a different story. It actively works against your brain's ability to function optimally. It reduces your capacity to focus, weakens your memory consolidation, and impairs your judgment. If you're feeling foggy, unfocused, or forgetful, it's worth honestly evaluating your substance use. Reducing or eliminating alcohol and avoiding illicit drugs is one of the most powerful and direct ways to clear the cobwebs and allow your brain to start healing and performing at its peak. Here's a connection that might surprise you: the link between your waistline and your brain. Being overweight or obese isn't just a matter of physical health, it's a major risk factor for cognitive decline. Research has consistently shown a troubling correlation. As body mass index increases, overall brain volume, particularly in critical areas like the hippocampus and frontal lobes, tends to decrease. Essentially, carrying excess body fat, especially around your midsection, can lead to a smaller, less efficient brain. But why does this happen? The answer lies in two key biological processes: inflammation and insulin resistance. Adipose tissue, or body fat, is not just inert storage, it's an active endocrine organ that produces inflammatory chemicals called cytokines. When you have excess fat, your body is in a state of chronic, low-grade inflammation. This inflammation isn't confined to your body, it crosses the blood-brain barrier and affects your brain, damaging neurons and disrupting the delicate signaling required for clear thought and sharp memory. It's like having a constant, low-level fire that slowly degrades your brain's infrastructure. This is a huge reason why maintaining a healthy weight is so critical for long-term cognitive function. The second culprit is insulin resistance. Your brain is a huge consumer of energy, using about 20% of your body's glucose. Insulin is the key that unlocks your cells to let this glucose in. In people who are overweight, cells can become resistant to insulin's effects, leading to high blood sugar levels. This is problematic for the brain, which needs a steady, well-regulated supply of glucose to function. Insulin resistance in the brain impairs its ability to use energy, hinders the formation of new memories, and contributes to the buildup of amyloid plaques, which are a hallmark of Alzheimer's disease. So, managing your weight through a healthy diet and exercise isn't just for your heart or your appearance, it's one of the best things you can do for your brain. Let's be blunt, smoking is one of the most destructive habits for your brain's health. While we often associate it with lung cancer and heart disease, its impact on your cognitive function is just as devastating. Every time you inhale from a cigarette, you're introducing a cocktail of over 7,000 chemicals into your bloodstream, including carbon monoxide and nicotine. Carbon monoxide displaces oxygen in your red blood cells, which means less oxygen is delivered to every organ in your body, including your brain. Your brain is an oxygen hog, and when its supply is reduced, its performance plummets. This leads to that feeling of mental sluggishness, poor concentration, and slower thinking. Nicotine, on the other hand, causes your blood vessels to constrict and narrow. Imagine trying to water your garden with a hose that's constantly being squeezed. That's what smoking does to the intricate network of blood vessels that feed your brain. This constriction, combined with the fact that smoking promotes the buildup of plaque in the arteries, a condition called atherosclerosis, creates a double whammy of reduced blood flow. Less blood means less oxygen and fewer nutrients reaching your brain cells. Over time, this chronic starvation can lead to the death of brain cells and significantly increase your risk of stroke, which occurs when blood flow to a part of the brain is cut off completely. The damage doesn't stop there. Studies have shown that smoking thins the cerebral cortex, the outer layer of the brain that is critical for memory, language, and perception. The longer and more heavily a person smokes, the more significant this thinning becomes. The good news? The brain has a remarkable capacity to heal. Research shows that quitting smoking can help to partially reverse this cortical thinning. It's never too late to quit. Making that decision is a direct investment in preserving your memory, your focus, and your overall brain power for the years to come. Your brain will thank you for every cigarette you don't smoke. High blood pressure or hypertension is often called the silent killer because it can cause immense damage without any obvious symptoms. This silence extends to your brain. Think of your circulatory system as a plumbing network and your blood pressure as the water pressure. When that pressure is consistently too high, it puts a tremendous strain on the pipes, in this case your arteries and blood vessels. The blood vessels in the brain are particularly delicate and vulnerable. Over time, this constant high pressure can damage, weaken, and narrow these vessels, a condition known as arteriosclerosis. This damage creates a serious problem for blood flow. When the vessels that supply your brain become stiff and narrow, it restricts the amount of oxygen-rich blood that can get through. This condition is known as cerebral hypoperfusion, which is a fancy way of saying your brain isn't getting enough blood. This chronic reduction in blood flow can lead to what are called silent strokes or lacunar infarcts, which are tiny areas of dead brain tissue caused by blocked small vessels. You might not even know you've had them, but over time, the cumulative damage can lead to significant cognitive impairment, memory loss, and a condition known as vascular dementia. Furthermore, high blood pressure can damage the blood-brain barrier, a protective layer that filters what gets from your bloodstream into your brain. A compromised barrier can allow harmful substances to enter the brain, triggering inflammation and further damaging brain cells. So what can you do? Managing your blood pressure is paramount. This involves regular monitoring, reducing your salt intake, eating a diet rich in fruits and vegetables, exercising regularly, and taking prescribed medication if necessary. Controlling your blood pressure isn't just about protecting your heart. It's one of the most crucial things you can do to protect your mind from silent, progressive damage. Diabetes, particularly type 2, is a condition defined by high blood sugar levels or hyperglycemia. While we often think about its effects on the kidneys, eyes, and nerves, we absolutely must talk about its profound impact on the brain. Your brain runs on glucose, but it requires a very stable and controlled supply. When you have uncontrolled diabetes, your blood is flooded with excess sugar. This high sugar environment is toxic to the small, delicate blood vessels, the capillaries, that are responsible for feeding your brain cells. This damage is a form of diabetic vasculopathy. This vascular damage impairs blood flow, creating a situation very similar to what we see with high blood pressure. The brain is starved of the consistent oxygen and nutrients it needs to function properly. But diabetes adds another layer of complexity. As we touched on earlier, it often involves insulin resistance. The brain has insulin receptors and relies on insulin to help process glucose for energy and to support neuronal health. When the brain itself becomes insulin resistant, it's like having a full tank of gas but a clogged fuel line. The energy is there, but the brain cells can't use it efficiently, leading to impaired cognitive function, memory problems, and a state of mental fatigue. This connection is so strong that some scientists have started referring to Alzheimer's disease as type 3 diabetes. High blood sugar and insulin resistance have been shown to promote inflammation and contribute to the formation of the amyloid plaques and tau tangles that are the pathological hallmarks of Alzheimer's. The takeaway is clear: managing your blood sugar is non-negotiable for brain health. This means adhering to your treatment plan, whether it's diet, exercise, oral medications, or insulin. Keeping your blood sugar in a healthy range is like providing your brain with premium, clean-burning fuel, allowing it to run smoothly and efficiently for the long haul. Finally, let's discuss an enemy that lives entirely within your mind but has a very real, physical impact on your brain: constant, negative thoughts. We all experience stress, anxiety, and periods of sadness. That's a normal part of being human. The problem arises when this becomes a chronic state, a constant loop of worry, pessimism, and self-criticism. This state of chronic psychological stress keeps your body's fight or flight system on high alert, continuously flooding your system with stress hormones like cortisol. While cortisol is useful in short bursts for escaping danger, sustained high levels are incredibly corrosive to the brain. High cortisol levels have been shown to directly interfere with the function of the hippocampus, our memory and learning center. It can disrupt the process of neurogenesis, the birth of new brain cells, and can even cause the hippocampus to shrink over time. This is why when you're chronically stressed or anxious, you find it hard to learn new things and your memory feels shot. Your brain is literally too busy managing a perceived threat to focus on higher-level cognitive tasks. Furthermore, chronic stress weakens the prefrontal cortex, the area responsible for focus, planning, and emotional regulation, making it even harder to break out of the negative thought cycle. So, how do you combat this? It's about actively managing your mental state. Practices like mindfulness meditation have been scientifically proven to reduce cortisol levels and even increase the gray matter density in the hippocampus and prefrontal cortex. Regular exercise is a powerful antidepressant and anxiety reducer. Cognitive behavioral therapy, or CBT, can help you identify and reframe negative thought patterns. Even simple acts like spending time in nature, connecting with loved ones, and ensuring you get enough quality sleep can have a profound effect. Your thoughts shape your brain's reality. By cultivating a more positive and resilient mindset, you are physically protecting and strengthening your brain. So there you have it. 7 major factors that can silently sabotage the health of your most vital organ. The evidence is clear and points to a powerful conclusion. Use your brain, or lose it. We've seen how everything from physical injuries and substance use to metabolic health and even your thought patterns can either build up or break down your cognitive function. The incredible news in all of this is that you are in the driver's seat. Your age doesn't define your memory. Your lifestyle does. You have the power to make choices every single day that protect, nourish, and even grow your brain. It's not about making 100 changes overnight. It's about starting with one. Maybe it's swapping a sugary drink for water. Maybe it's taking a 20-minute walk during your lunch break. Perhaps it's starting a 5-minute daily meditation practice or making that call to get help to quit smoking. Each positive change is a vote for a sharper, clearer, and more resilient mind. Change your habits and your mind will transform with them. You are the architect of your own cognitive destiny, and it's never too late to start building a better brain. I hope this information empowers you to take control of your brain health. If you found this valuable, please do me a favor and hit that like button, and share it with someone who needs to recharge their brain. We're all in this together. I've been really enjoying this Arab Month series and bringing this crucial health information to our community. Want me to keep going with this series? Let me know what topics you'd like to see next in the comments below. Your feedback means the world to me. Until next time, stay curious and keep your mind shining.